All right, folks. So we're going to quickly talk NFL football, folks. We're going to talk about the games that are coming up that are getting ready to start right now, technically in a little bit over an hour. So they're starting pretty quickly. You got the game going on in London right now, 25-16 at the moment. The Jaguars lead the New England Patriots. So going to get the screen pulled up right now on ESPN.com and talk point spreads and who's going to win the games today. We'll talk NFL football. Week 7. Time's passing so fast. We're halfway through the season already. I can't believe we're almost, well, not quite, but almost halfway through the season. So I'm going to share this screen out. Let's see. Share out NFL.com right here. Yep. There it goes. We're going to share it out. Talk NFL football. All right, so always like to go back and make sure I got the right screen here for y'all. So let's see. Yep, screen is pulled up. All right, so right now, as I mentioned, 25-16 right now. Jacksonville leads the Patriots. Patriots scored the first 10 points of the game. The Jaguars got hot, scored 25 straight. Patriots just scored on a drive just moments ago. Don't know why they went for a 2-point conversion. You kick the extra point, in my opinion. Pulled to within 8, so there's still a 1-score game. So maybe later in the game, all you need is a touchdown and a 2. But now you're down 2 scores, so you're fighting the uphill battle. All right, so let's get to the window that's coming up in about a little over an hour, starting off with the Seahawks and the Falcons. The Falcons are a 3-point favorite in that game. The Seahawks have lost 2 in a row. You would think that they may be able to go on the road here and bounce back because they're probably better than that 3-3 record. They're competing for a playoff spot. But I just think the Falcons are a better team. But again, I hate that 3-point spread because this game could totally be a field goal game. I could totally see Koo hit a game-winning field goal at the end and win this game by 3 points. So I wouldn't bet this game. But if I was to bet this game, I may lean Atlanta just because they're better. But I could definitely see the value in going Seattle because they lost 2 games in a row and they're a good football team. Tennessee versus Buffalo. Buffalo's an 8.5-point favorite. Hard to get a gauge on this game. Buffalo's been really good against bad teams and not so good against Baltimore and Houston, the 2 good teams they played. 8.5 points is a lot. Tennessee, Will Levis is not playing. That might not be a bad thing because Mason Rudolph might be better than Will Levis, at least on the same level. I mean, just on paper of it, Josh Allen's not turning the ball over, and he's Josh Allen. So naturally, they got Amari Cooper in there. Probably take Buffalo in the 8.5 to swallow those points and get the Bills winning big. Bengals at the Browns. The Bengals are a 5.5-point favorite on the road. The Bengals have not been impressive all year long. Joe Burrow's been playing really good football, though. Almost 1,600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Defensively, the Bengals haven't played well, though I thought they did. They held the Giants in check last week, though the Giants aren't a great offense. 5.5 points. Deshaun Watson's been awful. Nick Chubb's expected to play this week, so that's a good thing for the Browns. Browns can maybe keep this game close. The question is, how close can they keep it? These NFL games have a margin of error like razor blade thin. So I can see this being anywhere between a 3 or a 7-point Bengals win. I'd probably just take the Bengals on the 5.5, but I would probably say the play in this game with 41.5 being over and under. With Cincinnati, with Cleveland's offense, I probably would go under. Houston versus the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are a 3-point favorite here against a good Houston team. Houston, they won on the road against Buffalo when they won at home against Buffalo in a tough game, but they've not really played a lot of great competition this year. They got smashed by Minnesota when they went on the road. I think Green Bay wins this game, but again, I hate these 3-point spreads. I would rather you give me 2.5 here or something of that nature. 3 points is just such a tough spread because, again, these games can easily beat 3-point games, and you push these games and you're doing a parlay and you lose your whole parlay because of a push. So if you are betting this game, I'll probably lean Green Bay. I think it's going to be a really good, close game, but I think Green Bay is going to win this game at home, and both teams will be 5-2. Next game, the Miami Dolphins versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Dolphins are expecting Tua Tagovailoa to come back next week. Hold your breath. I'm excited, but at the same time nervous. I don't want to see the man get another injury like that, but I am excited because this offense has been unwatchable since he's been out. Indianapolis Colts, they're going to go back to starting Anthony Richardson, and he's not been great. He's been a turnover machine. So the Dolphins defense need to go out there and force some turnovers, at least a turnover. And they've not been great at forcing turnovers against Anthony Richardson. He's going to break a few runs here and there because he's athletic and he's good like that when in terms of running and doing things with his legs. Achane should be back this week for the Dolphins. He suffered a concussion. With Tua out, as I said, this team's been hard to watch. They've not scored many points. Hopefully, with a little more time under his belt, Snoop Hundley can do a little more offensively. Tyreek Hill had 130 yards in the first game with Tua. He's barely had 130 yards in the 3 games that Tua's been out total. So you need to get Hill and Waddle involved. Hundley's got to stop missing guys. So got to do some things well here. 3 points. I don't think that Indianapolis is that great here with Anthony Richardson. I would take Miami on the 3 points. I think this is a coin flip type game. I think Miami can win this game. I hope the Dolphins win this game as a Dolphin fan, but certainly this is a game that can go either way. But if I'm betting at 3 points, I take Miami as far as it's straight up, as far as who's going to win this game. I really don't want to pick, to be completely honest with you, because I don't want to sound like a homer and pick the Dolphins because they've not played great. Indianapolis is at home, so I'll just tell you I think Indianapolis should win this game by 2 or 3 points. Detroit going against the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings undefeated. Detroit Lions 4-1. Minnesota only a 1.5 point favorite at home. I think Detroit wins this game because I think Detroit's a better team. And if they lose this game, the Vikings are going to take control of the division because they'll have a 2-game lead in a win against Detroit. So I just think that the Lions are going to win this game. I don't see Sam Darnold he didn't look great the last game they played. He's been really good this year. Brian Flores defense, fantastic job in Minnesota. I think Detroit wins this game. They're a 1.5 point underdog, so I would just bet Detroit. Philadelphia Eagles 3 point favorite at the Giants. They've not looked great. Saquon Barkley is coming back to Jersey. How about that? Saquon here. I think Saquon's going to have a big game here. I've not been all too impressed with the play of Jalen Hurts. He's a turnover machine. Last week, I think he didn't turn the ball over, which is rare because he's led the league in turnovers over the last so many games. I think the Eagles are probably a better team. They're a 3 point favorite here. Again, so many 3 point spreads, and I hate these 3 point spreads because there's so much potential for a push here. If you're betting this game, and I would not bet this game, I probably would lean Giants because I think it's going to be a really close game. It can go either way, 3 points. I think the Eagles win this game really close, though. The Raiders against the Rams. Raiders 2-4, Rams 1-4. Rams a 7 point favorite at home. This is a home game that's literally a road game because all those LA people, man, they love the Raiders in LA. The Raiders are LA's home team. Screw the Rams and the Chargers when it comes to LA. They definitely like the Raiders in LA more than those two teams. So pretty much a road game at home for the Rams. I think the Rams are just better, though. 7 points, I think, is too much. I think this game is going to be a little bit closer than that. I think Vegas keeps it close, and I would bet Vegas on the spread, and the Rams should win this game by 3 or 4 points, maybe even 6. I think the Rams are just better. Washington Commanders, a 9.5 point favorite in the late window. The last one, of course, was the first game of the late window, by the way. The Commanders are 9.5 point favorite over Carolina. Carolina's a little better since they decided to go to Andy Dalton, but not a lot better. They're a 1-5 team. They'll be going back to Bryce Young soon because they'll be out of the playoff mix once they get to like 1-8, I think. Commanders will win this game at home. 9.5 is a lot of points, but unless Carolina backdoor covers, I think the Commanders will do enough to cover here and win this game. Jaden Daniels has been fantastic. Runaway Rookie of the Year. Kansas City Chiefs going on the road to the 49ers. Chiefs 5-0. They've been winning games, mostly ugly. Their best game of the season, they played against the Saints. They were crisp in that game. Kicked probably too many field goals in the red zone, but other than that, they were crisp. They looked good, but they're missing weapons. They don't have a lot of weapons right there on the offense, but we had the best quarterback in the league, a guy that's trajectory headed to be the best quarterback in the history of the league, and Patrick Mahomes, and you got the power of Tay Swift on your side with Travis Kelce. 49ers have not been great either. 49ers are a 2-point favorite at home. Brock Purdy's actually played good football, 9 touchdowns. He's got 4 interceptions. He's played well, though. Brandon Ayuk, he's had a couple good games here and there, but hasn't been great. Mason stepped in admirably, 609 yards, 3 touchdowns. Got hurt last week. I think he's playing this week. Well, you need him in there because Christian McCaffrey may not play this season, but Kansas City, a 2-point underdog on the road. I probably would lean towards the Chiefs. I just think they're a better team. The 49ers, they haven't been playing great. The Jets going against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We hear all the talk about Aaron Rodgers and adding his boy Davante Adams to the mix here. So Aaron Rodgers has not been great. He's been pretty mediocre this year. Najee Harris had a rare 100-yard game last week for the Steelers. There's the Steelers bouncing back. We're hearing rumors of Garrett Wilson wanting to be traded with Davante Adams coming in. I think the Jets are a lot of drama. And for all that drama, a 2.5-point favorite on the road. Russell Wilson, his first start, I don't know what to expect. I think the Steelers should have stuck with Justin Fields. But you know what? They're a 2.5-point underdog at home. Give me the Steelers all day. They're 4-2. The Jets are 2-4. I don't want to hear all of that about the Jets and all that crap. I think they'll beat the Jets. You got a doubleheader on Monday Night Football between our Baltimore Ravens to start off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is the main game on ESPN, ABC, ESPN Plus, all of the networks. As you got the first of the Harbaugh Bowl, you got 2 Harbaugh games. You got John Harbaugh and the Ravens taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. Tampa's played good ball. Both teams are 4-2. Lamar Jackson's playing like MVP Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry is a monster. 704 yards in 6 games and 8 touchdowns. So you got 2 MVP candidates on one team here. Chris Godwin's been an absolute baller for Tampa Bay. And, of course, you got Mike Evans as well. So it's going to be a good football game, a really good football game here. Baker Mayfield's played really well as well. I would probably look at the 3.5 with the Ravens and go on the other side of the hook and probably take Tampa because I think the Ravens can win this game by a last-second field goal. I could see that. I would definitely bet Tampa if I'm betting on this game, but I think this is going to be a really good game, a game the Ravens may pull off by a field goal. The Los Angeles Chargers going on the road against the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals 2-4. Chargers a 2-point favorite. This game only on ESPN Plus. Jim Harbaugh this time. Chargers, you don't know what to expect from the Cardinals. Marvin Harrison, he's had a couple monster games and then kind of was irrelevant in the other games. So you don't really know what to expect out of Kyler Murray and the boys. He's got 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 1,186 yards and 6 touchdowns. Had good games, bad games, irrelevant games. We know the Chargers want to run J.K. all day Dobbins. Justin Herbert had his biggest game of the year last week, and he still didn't get 300 yards. I expect a grinded out type game, and I expect the Chargers to win this game. They're a 2-point favorite. That's not a lot of points, so I would bet the Chargers, and I'd bet them in the victory. Chicago Bears and the Dallas Cowboys are the 2 teams off this week, so you see 30 of the 32 teams playing, and we'll go back to Thursday Night Football. I was at that game. Sean Payton came back to New Orleans and brutalized his old team 33-10. Saints ravaged with injuries. Spencer Rattler I mean, I don't want to be too critical of the guy because he had nothing around him. He was 25 for 35, 172. Javonte Williams ran all over the Saints, toting the pill. The Broncos as a whole had around 200 yards running. Quarterback ran good in that game. Just a complete dominant performance by the Denver Broncos. So that rounds out our games that we're going to talk about here coming up in less than an hour. And by the time I upload this, it'll probably be getting ready to kick off. So y'all make sure y'all check out this week's NFL action for week 7. And as always, remember, it's peace and football or sports, whatever you choose. We'll see y'all later.